Thousands of people have been protesting in a very strategically important place in India since the last 2 years. The recent ongoing protests include hunger strike, fast until death, and a lot of widespread agitations. If you have seen the movie Three Idiots, you would remember the character of Ranchod Das Chanchad. That character was loosely based on the person named as Sonam Wangchuk. Now, Sonam Wangchuk sat on a 21-day long fast which ended on March 26th. Now, what this protest is all about, why these people are protesting, and what they are demanding, we'll be trying to understand in this session. Hi, my name is Preetpal Singh, and today we are going to discuss on Ladakh Protest 2024. Sonam Wangchuk, along with thousands of Ladakh residents, have been protesting since last 2 years, demanding certain safeguards from the central government of India. Sonam Wangchuk sat for a 21-day long hunger strike, which ended on March 26th. After that, the women of Ladakh sat on a hunger strike, and if the demands stays unmet, the elderly, the youth, and the monks of Ladakh will sit for hunger strike in phases. Now, without beating around the bush, let us understand the 4 key demands because of which people of Ladakh are protesting. The first key demand is inclusion of Ladakh in the 6th schedule of Indian Constitution. The second demand is to provide full statehood to Ladakh or to make Ladakh a union territory with legislature. The third key demand is to develop or make a public service commission separately for Ladakh, for reservation of jobs for the local people. The fourth key demand is to provide 2 parliamentary seats to Ladakh, 1 each for Leh and Kargil in Lok Sabha. Now, before analyzing all these key demands, analyzing the pros and cons of each demands, we have to understand Ladakh as a region. We have to understand Ladakh historically, culturally, and ecologically in order to make a better understanding of these demands and why people of Ladakh are demanding these 4 things. Now, as we all know, Ladakh is a high altitude cold desert region with a population of 2.7 lakh according to 2011 census. The ecology and the ecosystem of Ladakh is very sensitive and very fragile. From 1947 to 2019, many people from Ladakh wanted a separate identity from that of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, people of Ladakh felt that they were getting a stepson treatment from that of Jammu and Kashmir. That is why on August 5, 2019, when the abrogation of Article 370 happened, people of Ladakh celebrated this move. But also, after this abrogation of Article 370, they wanted the protection under 6th schedule of Indian Constitution. Now, we'll be understanding later that what the 6th schedule is all about, but currently you have to understand that after 2019, the people of Ladakh started expecting the protection under 6th schedule of Indian Constitution from the central government. Now, internally, there has been several issues in the region. That is why in 1979, Ladakh was divided into Leh and Kargil. And following violent clashes, Leh and Kargil Hill Councils were developed in the late 1990s. Now, they are having little bit power in relation to some policy related issues and in relation to developmental funds. Now, government also in National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe meetings have suggested that Ladakh should be given the 6th schedule status. And the ministers of the government have also come to Ladakh and assured the people of Ladakh that of course they will be getting the 6th schedule status. And also several parties, especially the ruling parties, have written in their election manifestos that Ladakh will be given 6th schedule status once they come into power. But eventually, the government has declined giving any special status to Ladakh. Now let us understand the ecology of Ladakh. Now, Himalayas creates a rain shadow region in Ladakh due to which the passage of monsoon clouds is denied in that particular region. That is why people in Ladakh depend very highly on the glaciers, and glaciers are the lifeline for the people of Ladakh. That is why that region is also known as third pole of the whole world, and it is the biggest source of fresh water for the people of Ladakh. And close to 1 billion people on either side of the border, that is 1 billion from China's side and 1 billion from India's side, are depending on these glaciers directly or indirectly for their livelihood. Now, this shows that how fragile and delicate the ecology of Ladakh is. That is why the activities which are done in regular cities can't be done in Ladakh. So regular activities like mining, like industrialization can't be taking place in Ladakh because its ecology and ecosystem is very different. The carrying capacity of the ecosystem of Ladakh is very low. Now, recently we have been seeing increase in tourist influx in Ladakh, because of which the hotels have doubled in numbers, and due to that there have been increased usage of groundwater resources in Ladakh. Now, the water availability for the locals in Ladakh have diminished, have declined, and so has the groundwater levels in Ladakh. Now, because of so many tourists coming in Ladakh, there has been increase in the levels of pollution, especially the black carbon, which expedites the melting of the snow. Also, there have been a lot of increased pressure on natural resources. Now, in the last 2 decades, people of Ladakh have been severely affected by floods, landslides, extreme weather events, and flash floods. Hundreds of people have died in Ladakh due to glacial lake outburst flood in last many years. Now, same case can be seen in that of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, where there have been a lot of flash floods and landslides, due to which there has been a lot of loss to the capital and to human life as well. Now, these challenges can be attributed to a lot of things. First reason is that of climate change and global warming. Second reason is the various mining and energy companies which have been doing their activities in Ladakh region and several hill stations mercilessly. Third is the rise in tourist-related activities in those regions, especially Ladakh. Now, since we have a fair bit of understanding about the chronology of events and the ecosystem of Ladakh, it will be very easy for us to understand the demands and why the Ladakh people are wanting these demands to be fulfilled. Now, coming to the first demand. The first demand is providing 6th schedule status to that of Ladakh. Now, this demand is very interesting in its own way. Now, Article 370 was abrogated from Indian Constitution. We saw that in Jammu and Kashmir, the special facilities which J&K and Ladakh earlier used to get, they are not getting it right now. That is why Ladakh says that earlier, due to Article 370, no outsider could come into Ladakh and purchase land. Now, the case is totally opposite. So, Ladakh, of course, wants certain protection under 6th schedule. But first, let us understand what the 6th schedule is all about. So, there is Article 244 of Indian Constitution. Now, under Article 244, two things can be seen. One is the provision of 5th schedule and one is the provision of 6th schedule. Now, 5th schedule provides protection to the tribal areas in the mainland Indian states. That is 10 states in total. And there is 6th schedule which provides protection to the tribal areas, to the tribal population in areas related to 4 northeastern states. So 6th schedule provides protection in the northeastern region and 4 states in particular, that is your Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Now 6th schedule, what it does, it provides autonomy and conservation to the tribal areas by setting up autonomous districts and autonomous regions. Now, autonomous districts and autonomous regions, they are having autonomy in decision making. They are having their separate district councils and separate regional councils as well, which are having the powers to make laws on certain specified matters of that of land, forest area, forest management, inheritance of property, and some other related matters. Now, earlier, as you know, due to Article 370, outsiders could not come into Ladakh and they were having protection. Now, the Ladakhis are wanting the same level of protection under 6th schedule. So that is what their demand is. So I told you that this matter can be seen from 2 pillars lens. First pillar is that of conservation. Second pillar is that of autonomy. Now, this Schedule 6th gives conservation also to the people of Ladakh, and it also gives the much needed autonomy in decision making to the people of Ladakh. That is why they are demanding the 6th schedule status. Now, coming to the second demand of Ladakh, that is of statehood, or making Ladakh a union territory with a legislature. Now, whenever we talk about statehood, 3 articles rings bell in our mind. That is Article 1, Article 2 and Article 3 of Indian Constitution. Now, Article 1 says that India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Article 2 deals with admission or establishment of new states. Article 3 deals with formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or the name of existing states. Now, under Article 3, the bill which is proposed under Article 3, that bill needs to be introduced in either house of the Parliament only by the recommendation of Honorable President of India. Now, President must also refer the bill for the consideration of the state legislature so that they can express their opinions or they can express their views in a specified period of time. Also, that is why India is known as an indestructible union of destructible states. That is, states can be altered, their names can be changed, a lot of formation of the states can be changed, but India will remain. That is why India is an indestructible union of destructible states. Now, second demand also seems genuine because the second demand makes Ladakhi people want to have more democracy. They want to participate in the decision-making process. They want to have their representatives which can represent them and voice them in the legislature. That is why they are demanding statehood, because once Ladakh gets statehood, they will be having more powers as compared to while they are a union territory. That is why, to get more powers with the locals, to get more autonomy, and they can conserve their culture, preserve their culture, they are demanding a statehood. So second demand also seems genuine. The third demand is establishment of a public service commission in Ladakh. Now, Jammu and Kashmir is having its separate public service commission, that is JKPSC. Now, Ladakh wants also a separate PSC. The reason is that, for example, several medical officers or several administrative officers or several engineering officers, government officials, when they come to Ladakh from different parts or different regions of the country. And locals of Ladakh are not getting a lot of opportunity to be a part of those governmental services. So the people of Ladakh say that they should also get opportunity to be a part of such high-paying government jobs. So that is why, to reduce the level of unemployment, which is already very high in the youths of Ladakh, to reduce the level of unemployment, this development of a separate public service commission is imperative for people of Ladakh. So third demand also seems genuine. The fourth demand is providing 2 seats to the people of Ladakh in that of Lok Sabha. So that is, they want more representation in the decision-making power in issues related to national interest. Now, there is nothing wrong with it. They want separate seats, one that for Leh and one another for Kargil. Again, they are wanting more participation in the decision-making process of the country. So fourth demand also seems very, very genuine. Now we have to understand what is the stance of the government of India in all this scenario. And where does the government of India stand? Now, the government of India has denied giving the 6th schedule status to Ladakh. Now, earlier government of India promised to the people of Ladakh that yes, they will be getting the 6th schedule status. But after 2020, government has declined and denied giving any 6th schedule status to Ladakh. Now, the reasons can be multifold. The first very prominent reason is that associated with the national security. Now, if you remember, in 2020, Galwan Valley clash happened. In that clash, 20 people from Indian Army lost their life. And that clash was with that of China, along the line of actual control. So in such a sensitive area, of course, a central government would want its own power, would want its own stronghold. If statehood is given to Ladakh, if Ladakh is under 6th schedule status, they will be having autonomy. They will be having a lot of power, which the central government wants to keep with themselves, because that area is very, very sensitive. That area is strategically very, very important. And as you know, Ladakh is in a tri-junction. It borders Pakistan, it borders China, and it also borders, it is an integral part of India, right? So since it is in a tri-junction area, it becomes strategically very important for India's army and for India's national security, which is why Indian government would want to have a direct control over Ladakh. So that is one very, very important reason because of which the government is not giving Ladakh 6th schedule status and also not giving statehood to Ladakh. Now also, second reason can be setting up a wrong precedence. Now, there are several other states in our country, several other regions in our country which are demanding 5th schedule protection and 6th schedule protection. Now, if you see clearly, 5th and 6th schedule of our Constitution of India was specifically made for protection of tribal areas, and that too in particular regions of our country. Now, if Ladakh is given the 6th schedule status, it might set a wrong precedence for the other regions, for the other states as well. And if they are given special status, other states, other regions might also start demanding and might also start protesting. Now, the government's view is also very clear. The government says that we are committed towards the development of the people of Ladakh.
यूनियन टेरिटरी बन जाने के बाद अब लद्दाख के लोगों का विकास भारत सरकार की स्वाभाविक जिम्मेदारी बनता है.
That is why they have also increased the budget for Ladakh as well. And several road projects, several highway projects and other energy projects have also started in Ladakh so that the development of Ladakh as a region takes place. So the government is saying that it will leave no stone unturned to develop the region of Ladakh and make the lives of the people of Ladakh better. But giving 6th schedule and giving full statehood to Ladakh is something which the government can't do as of now or at this particular moment. However, the third and the fourth demand, of course, government can consider it very, very carefully. Now, at one hand, all the demands of Ladakhi people, they seem very genuine. But on the other hand, the government's reasoning is also very, very solid. Because in relation to national security, government can't give 6th schedule and statehood to Ladakh. So two of the sides are there and both of the sides seems right. So what is the way forward? Now, before discussing the way forward, I will tell you one analogy which Sonam Wangchuk uses to describe the situation. Now, Sonam Wangchuk says that it is like the government of India gave the people of Ladakh a check. Now, when they went to the bank to encash that check, a stamp of a bounced was stamped on that check. Now, Sonam Wangchuk asks that what should people do? People should stay quiet or they should protest and demand their rights. Of course, the people of Ladakh chose to demand their rights and to protest against the government of India, demanding the 4 key demands. Demanding the 4 key things which they want. So the current situation is that the people of Ladakh are still protesting and the government of India is yet to come out with a final declaration with a final verdict. However, an amicable solution is that the people of Ladakh, the civil societies of Ladakh, the eminent leaders of the protest, the political parties of Ladakh and the central government of India should come together and sit together and work towards an amicable, peaceful solution. Now that solution should be upholding our national security, integrity and sovereignty of our country, should also be bettering the lives of people of Ladakh and should also be making the people of Ladakh happy. Now that solution, if achieved, will be good for the country and will be good for the people of Ladakh as well. I hope you learned something new from this session. All the very best and have a very, very nice day.